So what is going on, everybody? I am back with another YouTube video now. In today's video, guys, we are going to be doing another Goosebumps book review. And today's book review, we are going to be doing Goosebumps book number 6, which is Let's Get Invisible. So I don't really have a lot of announcements to make for today, since yesterday I said all the announcements that I needed to say. So I would really like to make this a shorter book review and just get right on to it. So let's start talking about the book. So let's get right on to the review here. Obviously, I'm going to be doing Let's Get Invisible. So I'm going to just quickly show the 2008 reprint version. So here it is. This is, of course, the one that I read. And I've never had a problem with the reprint versions, like I've said many times before. But most of them are just close-up versions, and I don't think that they're as good as the original print. But I've never had a problem with the new copy versions. And I think it was definitely needed for the new generation. I think it was definitely understandable that they did that. But, of course, in this book review, I'm going to be showing the original copy. So let's start talking about this book. So I want to start by saying some of the problems with this book, and the problems are very similar to Stay Out of the Basement. And if you've watched my Stay Out of the Basement review, like I said in the Stay Out of the Basement review, like this book and Stay Out of the Basement, they spend a lot of time just dragging the story along. And whether it's just like a really, really boring climax, or it's just the same stuff over and over again like Let's Get Invisible does. And I'm not saying that this is bad, so, don't go off and say, oh, why are you putting so much pressure on Let's Get Invisible? Because it's not a bad book at all, despite its problems. It's just, I feel like R.L. Stine just spent a lot of time, he's like, okay, well, we're going to have a lot of side characters, and here's what we're going to do. We're going to have them go up into the attic, and individually, throughout the entire middle of this book, we're going to have them get invisible. And that's what this book felt like for me. If you've watched the TV show, you'll understand that there are a lot of side characters, and at least with the side characters, you understand that, they don't really need a lot of development or anything like that. So, like, unlike Say Cheese and Die, you can understand the side characters in that they don't need any development. So you don't get as confused as, like I said, in Say Cheese and Die, especially at the beginning of the book. But it's just so unnecessary for him to do the same thing. Like, do something different. Have a little bit of conflict here, rather than them just going up into the book. In fact, let me see how many pages are in here real quick. Just to kind of show you. There are 139 pages, which is definitely a lot more than the normal Goosebumps books. A lot of them are like 120-something or 130. So 139 is definitely a lot. And, as you could probably guess, a lot of it is just from that same, stuff that they do throughout the book. But despite its problems, it's a really good book. And, like I've said about the beginning books in the franchise, a lot of them are more original ideas, and, I really like how instead of them just disappearing and getting invisible, they have a behavioral change. When they come out, they're really cold, and they have a different attitude. Now, I definitely will say that, obviously, at the end of this book, you have that happening one last time where, what's his name? Let me see. I'm going to try to find what the one kid's name is. I always forget what his name is. Lefty. He calls him Lefty throughout the book, but I think his name is Zach. But anyways, the left-handed kid, we're going to call him Lefty for right now. He, at the end of the book, they have a little twist where he went into the mirror without them knowing, and then he comes back, and he turns out to be right-handed now, so he has a different behavior. You know that he went into the mirror. So he basically came out as his opposite self. I think out of all of the endings that I've seen out of these books, this is definitely the least exciting one. I feel like it just did, all it really did was, once again, do the same thing that they've already done many times throughout the book. They could have done something different. Like, maybe at the end of the book, they got rid of the mirror somehow, and then they go up into the attic, and, I don't know, they're clearing out the attic. Maybe they're moving out of the house, and then they see the mirror is up there again. Just something different rather than the little twist that they did at the end, which, like, we've already seen number 1. And number 2, we could probably already expect if you've read this book. But despite all those factors that it has, it's a really, really good book. I really like the characters in this book. Like I said with Say Cheese and Die, at least with this book, instead of having two siblings, like one is like younger or whatever, like you have like a little sister and then a bigger brother, you have something a little bit different with the conflict rather than that just same brother-sister conflict that they have. And then you have all these other side characters in the book. I really like that. I really like when books have something different rather than just the same stuff. But, I mean, it still repeats the same stuff anyway. So, overall, I would say that this is a pretty average book. There's nothing too exciting about it, even though it's a pretty unique idea from R.L. Stine. I would say it's a pretty average book. I wouldn't rank it any higher on a scale of 1 to 10 than 7. I think that at max I would give it a 7. But I think it's around like the 6 range because it wasn't my personal favorite book because when it drags and it does that same thing, it makes most of the book boring. But I really like the unique idea, which kind of saves the book for it. So I'm going to give it like, it's in between 6 and 7 range. No more than 7, definitely. But I definitely recommend reading this book. I think you'll enjoy the idea if you haven't watched the TV show episode. I think you would much rather want to watch the TV show episode before the book, because then you could kind of understand more of what's going on. And this is another one of those books where the book is very similar to the episode, and it definitely is. It's not like Monster Blood. I think Monster Blood had a slightly different ending, or Welcome to Dead House had a different ending, and Stay Out of the Basement, I think, had a slightly different ending. I can't remember what happened at the end of the book compared to what happened at the episode, but this one was definitely another similar one to the episode. So I wish they kind of changed something up, like I said, with the ending. I think it could have been definitely a lot more exciting, but other than that, I think it's just a very average book. I don't think that it has anything too exciting, but I like the unique idea, obviously. Alrighty, guys, so we're going to end this all off. And if you did not notice, I have Slappy in the background. Now, I didn't mention him when I was doing the book review because I had to do this video over and over and over again. So I might add in a little bloopers, a little funny thing at the end here. But if you've already noticed, Slappy is in the background, and I think I'm going to do this in the rest of my book reviews. I think it's definitely going to add a nice match to the background or whatever. So, you know, just stay tuned for more book reviews and everything like that. Stay tuned for more streams, more videos. Hopefully I'll get some more book reviews just popped out so that we can stay in the algorithm with YouTube. And once I get a really fun idea, I'll pop it out. But for right now, I think it's just really going to be book reviews. So stay tuned because very soon the next book review is, of course, going to be on number 7, which is Night of the Living Dummy. And also stay tuned. If you didn't see, I put in the description and on my community post that in 2 days, the new Diary of a Wimpy Kid book is coming out. So I'm going to try to read it as fast as possible. And I'm going to do another Diary of a Wimpy Kid book ranking with the new Raleigh Jefferson's journal book and number 15. So there's going to be 2 new books to the ranking, and I know you guys absolutely love those rankings. I've checked my newest ranking, which came out about 10 months ago, last November, and it's just absolutely exploded with views. It's my top 2 channel, or top 2 video for the most views, because I do have the popular upload section, and it absolutely just exploded with views, and I know you guys really, really like those videos. You guys are always intrigued to see that. So stay tuned because very soon we're going to have some exciting videos, more book reviews. I don't know about streams. I haven't really been streaming a lot lately. I apologize for not streaming yesterday. I just really didn't feel like it. I had a lot on my mind. I had a lot to prioritize. I write my own list every day for things that I want to do, obviously. And it did snow in today, so I just decided to pop out another book review. So, like and subscribe, guys, and I'll see you next time. It just takes too long to get to the final act of this book. Guys, I'm doing a video! Stop!
Fuck you say to me, you little shit! The Fitness Gram Pacer test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test.
I think it just kind of makes a, you little yay! This book has a lot of these same problems as, like, Stay Out of the Basement does. Dude, I'm gonna die here, man. Dude, I can't get rid of this.
Oh, no, 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 no.